We have returned. I hope you had a good break as well. Greetings, by the way, to Yui, who we raided the other night and was making some dungeons, actually. So, Coffee Cat, that was very much in your vein and style there. A lovely experience using some different materials.
Ooh, like a actually building terrain.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It was trained. There was a dungeon building.
Ooh, very nice.
Um.
I may have to go check them out.
Yep. Yui was talking about being in Singapore, and so the crafting materials are different, or at least the availability and the cost is different. And
Yeah.
so
Makes
just
sense.
it was interesting watching maybe like a very traditional dungeon being built in a different way with different materials. It was a lot of fun. So Yui, if you're still there, thank you for stopping by. And hopefully we can see you on Discord too. Because if you can share pictures of your work,
stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I would love to see your stuff.
Well, we're back in the saddle. Fluffy Sheep might have stepped off to let the fluffy puppers out, which is fine because, as dogs need to be let out. So we're going to go back to the combat scene here, where a vampiric goblin had attacked Norallie, tried to attack Tig, and then was subsequently defeated by the power of tieflings. So,
By the power of sibling tieflings.
yeah, that's right. Here's the scene. It's still raining and windy. There is a presumably dead, not just undead goblin at Loki's feet. And in the couple minutes following, it doesn't seem like there's nothing that has jumped out. Could there still be enemies? Maybe. Or if there were and they escaped. Unfortunately, the rain and the wind and the thunder would make it difficult to follow. But nothing has jumped out at you all. There's no obvious signs that there are any other colluders or attackers.
Norallie, what happened?
Well, I was hiding with Tig, and then this thing came out and was like, "Oh, I'm injured," and I didn't really believe him. So I was like, "Hey, do you promise? Do you pinky promise?" Well, I didn't say pinky. I should have said pinky. So he's promised. I was like, "Yeah, I'm hurt." So I went down, hurt him, or not hurt him, went to help him because he was hurt. I ended up hurting him. I went to help him, and he was like, "Oh, there's a monster behind you," and I was like, "Really?" I turned around and he jumped on me, and I knew he was going to do that, so I blasted.
I was kind of meaning in regards to you and Tick being out here and none of us being on the ship.
They were going to find Tig in Bright's room, and they were going to blame Tig for whatever happened, but I knew Tig didn't do anything because Tig was with Bright the entire time. And so I cast darkness, might have also made a cloud, flew out the door with Tig, and ran out here.
You know how bad that looks, right?
In hindsight, yeah, but like, what if they found, Tig in Bright's room and they just hurt her without even asking because she's not a dwarf. She's a goblin.
That's...
I don't know how things work in this place. Goblins probably don't have the same rights as dwarves. Is there even trial in this? In Maslamaska, trials are judged by anonymous jury, but I don't know what they do here. This is Shadowheart and Dwarven country.
But it's also not our business.
Hey, she's innocent.
I understand. I understand that Tig is innocent. I understand that, she was probably going to get implicated in something that you didn't want her getting implicated in, and of course that's not ideal. But now, how we missed our ship.
Well, why did he leave without us? The whole reason the ship was going was because of us, right?
The whole reason the ship was going in the second place was because there was a Shadowheart ship hovering over us. The governor's ship.
Yeah, the governor's ship followed that ship. If we got on that ship, we'd be followed by the governor right now. We'd probably be talking to him instead of talking to a dead goblin zombie vampire thing.
And what has that gained us?
The question is, what did we not lose? Our lives.
No, what did we
still
gain
alive.
out of all of this?
Why does everything have to be a gain? I thought you were the one all about giving and not taking.
That's true. But actions have consequences, Norallie. And now we're going to have the consequences
I know that.
of that action.
Yeah, but inaction could also have a consequence, and I knew inaction would be worse, in my opinion. If I did nothing and Tig got hurt, I would feel terrible, because I knew I could have done something. You would feel terrible, because you probably wouldn't have known you could have done something.
The point is, you didn't actually present the case for Tig to the authorities.
Well, I don't.
You instead ran away, and now all of us look like murderers.
Well, that's just wrong.
That's what happened. That's what we look like now, Norallie. That we were colluding. That's why he left without us.
I didn't like him that much anyways. Even if we got on the ship, like, what was going to happen? The governor followed his ship. We would have been found.
And that was a risk that we were already willing to take. We'd all agreed upon that. Remember?
I mean, I guess, but still, like, we avoided it.
Have we?
Yeah, because the governor's not here.
These things have bigger implications than the immediate, Norallie. I'm just saying that the next time that a friend of yours is potentially going to be implicated in a crime, you need to be a character witness. Running away with them just implicates both of you. Now, they're going to be looking for Tig even harder. She can't go back with us.
They didn't see her, so they don't know she was there.
But they're going to be looking for any goblin even harder now.
Well, we can just wait until they find the goblin they're looking for.
We can't. There was a bell.
What's bell got to do with anything?
That's calling everyone together. I would imagine it's something important.
Yeah. But what's that have to do with the goblin? The goblin wouldn't go to the bell. Unless it was a really brave or dumb goblin.
I know you have an aversion to all of authorities. I get it. It's because the authorities in your mind are who killed your parents.
They are who killed my parents.
Do you know that for certain?
Yes, it happened.
They weren't mobsters?
There were guards. It's involved.
But not all guards are like that.
So, to that question, during the conversation between Loki and Mordecai, would anything have come up that would, like, beyond this just being a Mordecai question, that could be leading Norallie? Like, are you really remembering and telling me the truth? Or could Loki have divulged something in an effort to bond with Big Bro here about the happenstances or the nature of your family or the events from his understanding?
I don't think his understanding would be much different from Norallie. Okay. And actually, most of Norallie's understanding would be derivative of his.
Okay.
So, she's saying guards are involved. Maybe she didn't see guards, but it's probably because Loki saw them. And he told her what happened.
And Loki wouldn't, and I'm not saying he has to, but is the things that Loki told you different than maybe what, either as a lie or just he's actually confessing something different to Mordecai? Like, well, the truth is blah, but I told Norallie blah. That I'll leave that up to you. I'm simply providing the opportunity in the prompt.
I'm thinking his story would probably line up with Norallie's. If anything, maybe it's just kind of a different angle. Like, Loki woke up, saw things, went and got Norallie, picked her up, took her out of the house. Norallie was woken up by that, so she didn't see the actual things happening.
Okay.
So Loki would probably just be like, I don't know if he would divulge this immediately, or like he might be something like it was bloody. He didn't tell Norallie that, but so and such and such happened. Maybe like I think this particular guard we actually knew, but Norallie doesn't remember him. Something like that.
Okay.
But basically it would be guards were definitely involved, so like authority was definitely involved. So Norallie doesn't need to know the gruesome detail.
Okay. Then so like Mordecai, you absolutely can still ask those questions. My prompt was just to see if they might have been, in your time talking, could there have been something more, like a little bit of leverage behind your question, than any suspicions that you might naturally harbor to the veracity of the tale. All right, so continue. Proceed apace.
I need you to consider these things, Norallie. Because we can't afford not to make allies at this point. We need all of the allies that we can get. That includes foreign powers, that includes guards, that includes dwarves, Shadowhar if they'll take us, Mesomaskins, Aslandians, everyone.
Yeah, I got nothing against, dwarves in general or Shadowheart. Well, it's just, Tasman, he wasn't going to just, he wasn't just going to say hi and make friendly with Tig. He was going to do something. And I wasn't going to stand around and let that happen.
That's kind of why we chose him, isn't it?
Yeah, when he's on our side, I guess. Because he would probably just fight his way out of things, which is why I know that it wouldn't be a good idea for him to find Tig. He was sniffing people. He's not right in the head.
Norallie.
It's rude to sniff people.
It's rude to consider that something offensive when all it is a different person, different culture.
To sniff people.
Just because it's unusual for us Mesomaskins doesn't mean anything. You're...
And also, like, he was kind of implicating Bright, and, you know, Bright didn't do anything either, just because...
Bright's a smart woman, and she can handle herself.
Yeah, but she's also my friend.
You didn't help her by doing this. You know that, right?
Did anyone question Bright about murders after I left?
That would be for you to ask her.
I'll take that as no.
I don't know. I was at breakfast.
Did you leave? Did you leave before or after the ship? Because I called Loki after the ship was already leaving.
No one told me and Selene that the ship was leaving at all.
Though, you would have known if she got questioned. Also, why wouldn't he tell you he was leaving?
I don't know. You tell me. I'm just asking you to consider these things in the future, Norallie. Because it's not all about just one of us anymore. This is the world we're considering. And if that's something you don't want to do, then you need to tell us now.
I just didn't want someone getting hurt unnecessarily. That's all.
And she still might. You haven't cleared her name.
I will clear it then.
That should be done first.
Okay.
Not after you've run away and already implicated yourself in something.
Are you talking about Tasman? Says Tig.
Yes, I'm talking about Tasman.
Oh, yeah. He doesn't like me too much. Probably of the three of them, he probably likes me the least. Always tells Galvin that he should get rid of me, but he never does.
Not to mention, Tig has Galvin.
I didn't even know she could talk.
Learning, picking up.
Galvin didn't even treat her like a person. He treated her like a pet.
Are you gonna fix all of Dwarven society?
You know, that I can help where I can. What I do, I guess.
Tig was taken in, given shelter, food, job, place to stay, sleep. Everyone kept telling him to get rid of Tig. He wouldn't.
So she has a home. She can go back to Brisbane. But that's...
Shall we clear her name first?
Yes, that is if we can clear her name. And that's probably going to be going in front of the king and admitting what you did. And we're going to have to ask again to be escorted to the mountain.
Do we need to be escorted to the mountain? We could just...
We don't know how to get there.
They can give us directions and a map. It's not that hard.
And flying would have been a lot faster. Selter is dying. It's an emergency, Norallie.
We could still fly, just not on a ship.
But not as fast as a ship.
And maybe not, I guess, but it'd still be fairly fast.
What you did was reckless.
I'm used to doing reckless things.
That's
Grew
okay
up
when you're
doing a
by.
lot of reckless things.
That's okay when you're by yourself. You have all of us to consider now.
And you could have gotten on the ship.
You think I'm gonna leave my little sister behind to deal with the consequences of her actions by herself? Heck no.
I almost want to say, Coffee, Mordecai and Loki would probably almost say that exact long same sentence at the exact same time. So, Norla, you have both of them saying that, like, completely unprompted, but those exact same string of words coming out of both of them simultaneously. In stereo.
In stereo.
Jeez, you sound like my brother. She says, "You're not either one." She says to both of them at once.
Jeez, I wonder why.
What's it like to have a brother? Asks Tig.
Nice. It's nice.
It's nice when she's considerate of the other things going on around her.
I didn't. That's. Maybe we could ask for a different ship, or, like I said, we could fly without the ship.
We wouldn't have had to do that if you had just thought for a moment that you could just account for Tig's presence 100%.
Well, I
You
didn't,
knew where she was.
and now we're here. So
This
that's all
needs
in
to
the
not...
past. Let's move on to the future.
No, that's not how this works, Norallie.
Yeah, no. This is how this works. I've learned my lesson. I've had my lecture.
Norallie,
Mm-hmm.
I need you to say I'm sorry. Not to me. To Loki.
For what?
Because he's your actual brother. And you're gonna apologize to Selter when we get back for how long it took. And you're going to apologize to Bright and Selene, too. And you're going to tell them this is never happening again.
Okay.
Okay. Now we can go back. Come on, Tig.
You say that, and you look to where Tig was standing, and she's not standing there. Now, it doesn't take much to find her. She's actually, looming over this corpse, and it looks like she is biting into one of the fingers of this fallen goblin. As you say, come on, Tig, you look, you check over. She's just, like, biting into...
No.
And that's gross.
No, Tig, that's not safe.
Tastes, Not good.
Don't bite random fingers. You don't know where they've been.
Something not right about this one.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That thing it has fangs.
Fangs.
Yeah, like yours, but like goblin size.
Like vampire fangs.
Yes.
The town's gonna want to know about that.
It's kind of gross, but we could just bring him with us. Control the town.
I found my job. And Mordecai hoists the corpse of the dead goblin over his shoulder and begins walking with it.
Okay. Yeah, you, it is most certainly not alive anymore. Mordecai, as you look, it has vampiric features. Like, not just the fangs, but there's something about, even in its dead state, just this feeling, the aura, that there's some sort of just a certain look that even just the shape or the existence of a vampire is still kind of, well, it makes your heart, which is now beating, thankfully, it does kind of make it quicken or just raises a little bit of a concern. But you throw it over your shoulder, and which you can. You may have a low strength, but it's a goblin, not wearing too much. And you start heading back. So meanwhile, back in the manor, well, outside the manor, is we do have a Bright here. We have Bright and Selene, who have exited the country manor, saw that there was a distinct lack of servants, and whatever they were doing was just put to the side. And they're gone. And as you step outside to look for yourselves what the familiar had seen, there's no one. So as this conversation's happening outside of town, we come back to town, to the village. And Bright, what would you like to say, do, explore, or try and figure out?
Yeah, so Selene, do you think the servants, do you think they were magical creations themselves? Like maybe the bell rung and that's like the tardy bell, maybe, and it tells them all that their existence is
late
about
for
to end.
something?
So
Oh,
you better
goodness.
put your stuff down so that it doesn't break, and then poof, they all disappear.
Well, the poof and all disappeared is definitely something that I will say is yes, that's a thing that happened. As far as magical creatures, however, we would have spotted illusions, wouldn't we?
I mean, maybe not. I mean, we weren't using any magic, so.
But you're keen on the arcane. You would have picked up on something, that something similar to what you've done before, yes?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, if they were invisible or something, I probably would have noticed. But they were pretty good. They were very lifelike. I mean, I guess, do I have any, like, I could roll an arcana or something to see, maybe? I don't know.
I don't recall, I as a player do not recall what the distinction of these servants was, if there was any kind of distinguishing features of them.
Well, they're all dwarves. They were dressed in similar state to the king. Although, I mean, they were so incredibly lifelike that two of them got murdered and left physical evidence like blood in a struggle. So that's either a really good illusion or the servants are real.
Maybe just those servants were real.
Yeah, I'm not saying there can't be a mix, but
The odds of all of them being a fabrication, though, are fairly slim. Wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, they could have been abducted, but how would that have happened without us noticing it? That's the thing.
Like you said, the bell might have something to do with it.
And it's not like there's a... I mean, we didn't see any like, wagon train roll up and everybody get into it, right? That would have made a lot of noise and it would have been a whole big thing and we couldn't have missed it. Especially you. I mean, I might miss it, because you know how it is with me, but you wouldn't have missed it.
You see, you sometimes have your head in the clouds. Sometimes literally. But,
I mean, yeah, that's always fun.
the fact that we missed it, though, that's puzzling. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's inspect the mysterious umbrella that Peggy Sue found, and then we can go check out the bell. Maybe it's a magic bell.
Perhaps. Sounds intriguing.
Okay.
And
Yep.
So yeah, they'll go check that out.
All right. Well, the umbrella, it's not that it's irrecoverable, because it's pretty much just the one road in town, or the one main road. You can go chasing after it, but it has been slowly kind of tumbling with the wind that's been a part of the rain. But there is, it looks like someone did drop maybe a bag of supplies or groceries or something, and that hasn't strayed anywhere. So it's your choice. You could chase after the umbrella, which is way down the street, and maybe you'll find it or other things, or you can be more local and investigate the dropped bag.
Why not both?
Or why not both?
The bag.
Yeah,
is
Selene will pick up the bag. Yeah.
Okay. The bag has produce in it. Seems to be rather fresh. Whoever was carrying it must have been coming back from, well, wherever it was procured, market, neighbor's house, or something. But it's
See,
fresh
this is
and not
exactly
wilted.
what we need for shelter. She can eat this and feel better.
Well, I wish we had a larger bag that we could carry a lot of things in, because if there's a lot of things that we find just stray, then that would be ideal.
Bring the bag of vegetables. If we find who it belongs to, we can give it back. And if we don't find who it belongs to, we can eat it.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah, let's... I mean... I guess I can call out, hello? Is anybody here? You dropped your... potatoes.
No reply. Either no one heard you, or there's no one to hear you.
Yeah. Okay. I assume the umbrella's probably going to be the same. Are there like footsteps and or like footprints and things?
Roll a
I normally make that either investigation or survival.
Yeah, I'm debating between the two here. This is probably going to be more of a survival, because you're having to contend against the elements as well. So
13. Could be worse.
Selene can do that too. She's pretty good at anything to do with wisdom.
So, I mean, between the two of you, there might have been footprints, but there's certainly signs that on this old road there's foot traffic, and there's some ruts in the mix of dirt and stone from all the carts and wagons that go hither and thither. There's nothing that appears fresh, especially given the time that even on a doorstep, there's just been a lot of rain splatter and the wind blowing water around. So there's nothing that appears definitive.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, let's grab the umbrella and go check out the bell. I mean, the umbrellas can't be that far.
Nope. You two can, or 2.5 if Peggy Sue's with you, can go chasing off after the umbrella.
Yeah, she can perch.
Okay. So you're traipsing through the village, and you're trying to catch up to this thing as it's rolling past. That feeling of emptiness is still with you, because there's just no one out, and
Yeah.
the doors are closed, and the shutters are closed due to the storm as well. Though with an exception, because ahead of you, you do hear as there's a wooden banging against a stone side of a house. It would take you from the course of chasing the umbrella, because you'd have to turn down a side street, but it's very pedestrian, so it's more like an alleyway. Well, street for you, Bright, but
Yeah.
but there is the sound of a wooden thing banging against a stone down this alley.
Okay.
Does it sound rhythmic, or is it like chaotic?
Chaotic.
Does it sound like it's a sign banging up against a wall?
No,
Or maybe
it
shutters banging up against the wall?
might be that, yeah. Sign probably not, because of the way that that signs would hang. They would swing, maybe squeak a little bit in the breeze if they aren't greased. But this is something that's slamming against the side of a stone building.
I think Celine's gonna go check out that and see what that is. If it sounds like shutters, then finding out if there's people inside the house would be ideal.
Bright, are you sticking together, or do you want to let the umbrella? The umbrella might get away if it continues to blow and bluster.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm not super worried about the umbrella. I just... how far is it? I mean, I thought this was all like a pretty small town.
Yeah, it's not like half a mile away or anything. It's you turn down and you're just hearing an echo. You're hearing an echo of things.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is turn on my sea invisibility.
Okay. By the way, now that we're exploring the town.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, hey, I remember this scene.
Yeah. This reminds you a lot about a town called Browbeat for some reason.
Yeah, the architecture is so similar.
Yeah, weird. Weird how at the end of the game we're exploring things that you found at the beginning of the game.
Who knew?
Purely coincidental.
Of course.
Yeah,
Always.
I'm just gonna run at full speed to pick up the umbrella and just grab it, and then I'll just run back and join up with Selene. If I miss like a second, that's okay.
Okay.
I just want to collect it because it's a clue and I don't want to let it blow away.
Okay. Bright and Peggy Sue go dashing off, and Selene, as you go down this alley off of the main road through town here, you do see that it is in fact a shutter that is catching with the wind, and the hinges, in fact, it's not making any squeaking. It's very well made, but because it isn't latched, or it became unlatched, it is banging with the wind against the side of the stone house over here.
I'm gonna go up to the house and see if there's any residents inside.
Okay.
That's the unusual part.
Well,
about all
you're
of
at
this.
the house. If you're by the shutter, you can see. Are you doing this by looking through the window, or do you want to go to the door? What would you like to do?
Looking in the window,
Okay.
since that's the most convenient at the moment.
Sure. Let's have you perceive. All right. Looking
Damn.
inside, there are certainly signs that there were people in there. In fact, there was some sort of a breakfast. They must have been eating breakfast around the same time. There are some dishes that are left out in the kitchen. slash dining area that you're peering inside of. There's some dirty ones that are soaking in a sink that still has some suds from some kind of a soap that they were using to clean their dishes. And there's, in the fireplace even, there's a faint flickering glow of whatever remnants of their evening fire, or just a small one that they made in the fireplace to help just keep this this cold summer rain from setting too much into the house. So people were in here, though there's no sign of anyone, no sight nor sound of them, I should say.
How unusual. Would I know of any instance of something like this have happened before?
So you're thinking about disappearances, or you see and hear this this flapping shutter, and you're trying to piece things together, and well, fortunately for Selene here, and with your prompt, Coffee, we have some green numbers. Now I know you all out there in the audience can't see, and that's really for your benefit that you can't see our chat. But that's a green number, indicating that was a nice 20 on this skill check. And so this is going to be a 26 result for Selene. So we once again we have Selene with the math projecting out from her. She's trying to think back on things that she knows about or has read about, or she's putting clues together. And Selene notices that the noise is from the shutter banging, but there are no squeaks. The house itself, I mean, it is weathered stone, it has some moss and whatnot that you see. It's not maybe as dilapidated as this picture might have a lot of things look, but there's like natural darkening of the stone and such that you would see, but it's not necessarily derelict, because this is an active lived-in village filled with people who are expert craftsmen. And well, the latch isn't broken, and one shutter is latched, so there is an attempt made to latch them, but one of the latches, which is not broken, must have missed, indicating maybe it was rushed. It was a job that was incomplete. Something happened, a distraction. Probably the bell. So, I'm trying to take us through a montage in Selene's brain, however she's going to, piece this together. So, my ideas and presentation may be different than how lethality would, but, follow along anyway. So she's piecing it together. Latch, interrupted. There was the bell that was sudden. Bells are usually used to call people, or to offer, if not a call out to come to a place, a call out as a warning, or as a call out to brace yourselves, or even to lay low. And then hinges. Things are expertly crafted. You walked into the keep, and when you were inside the keep, you walked inside and there was it was a wall in front of you, but it was actually two doors that looked like a wall. In fact, it was able to very easily push open because of just how quiet and well built those hinges were. Surprisingly so, in fact, to the point that it was a joke. As the dwarves do seem to have maybe a sense of humor. Selene recalls maybe it's a dwarven joke where the king was behind him the whole time, and they were unaware. Wait a minute. We didn't see or hear anyone in the manor. And there's some evidence that at least some of them were alive, if not all of them.
Bright.
Oh,
Are they pulling a
I just
prank
got
on
yeah,
us?
you look to where Bright might have been, maybe forgetting in your examination. Bright's there. Bright's not there. She scampered off through the rain to try and get this umbrella.
I'll be right back.
Bright? Oh, where did she go?
Bright, you will eventually catch up to the umbrella.
Okay. I wonder if I should.
Although, I want to point out the irony, at least of the phrase, that Selene is the one who's been left holding the umbrella, despite you being the one that has it. So.
Yeah. So here's the funny thing. I wonder if I should actually come back to Selene. Maybe I should hide. I wonder if that would creep her out some.
I
It's all
mean,
pranks,
it is your cultural festival of playing tricks, so.
I mean, it's really tempting. No, I'll go back. This is important. It's hard though. It's really hard.
Oh, there you are.
Bright,
Yeah.
Bright barely hanging on to like that little bit of a sliver that would have taken her down a similar path that Noralie's getting lectured about right now.
I want to.
Yeah.
But I can't.
You're hanging on there. Unfortunately, it looks like rain, but you're actually just like sweating because you're in such conflict. Like you're running hot, Bright. You know.
Yeah.
It looks suspicious in other circumstances.
We should check out the bell, but a strange thought has occurred to me.
Okay.
Are they pulling a prank on us?
I mean, it is all pranks day. It'd be pretty elaborate. And wouldn't they call off the prank if there was a murder? I mean, I would. And I mean, I love pranks. I mean, I guess the murder could be part of it, but didn't we?
I'm not
I mean, Peggy Sue saw
educated enough
the bodies.
on... This is dwarf culture we're talking about. I don't know nearly enough.
But how would they even do it? And that's the thing. I mean, that's what we talked about. Like, if everybody had just run off, then we would have been able to hear them going somewhere, or see them getting into wagons, or going downstairs, or there'd be like a
Unless
line
they're
where they were all...
magically adept like yourself.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to do magic. That's the whole big thing. Plus, I have my see invisibility on, and I don't see anybody. Right? I don't see anybody
No.
except for Selene.
Yep. Just
Yeah.
Selene.
It would be one large elaborate prank, but I can't help but wonder.
I mean, they could pull it off if they wanted to. Ooh, let's I mean, it is all pranks day. Boy, this would be the best one, but also kind of the worst one because there's a murder to be investigated.
That's true.
Peggy Sue, what happened to the bodies? Like, were they still there when you left?
Yes, they were.
Yeah. Would you do me a real quick favor and fly on back and check to see if they're still there or if they've been moved?
And she flies away.
Okay. She's such a good bird. Best one ever. I mean, yeah, if it's a prank, it's a really good one, but then where did they go? That's the big question.
Investigation, Bright.
Investigation, 19.
Well, you are thinking about where it is they could have gone if they haven't used magic, if things are as Selene tells you. I mean, it could be a joke. The bell, though, could indicate danger. What would have happened? They're not invisible. And you can recall back from your own experiences talking to the farmer from yesterday, or and the other things that might have been shared in the town hall that the others had explored and discovered. But the houses, at least back in Brisbane, all had root cellars, or as it was heavily implied, there are tunnels that run under the town. There's a very good chance that New Denala's here is going to be the same as Brisbane. And probably more so if the king himself lives here.
Yeah. I mean, this would be a lot easier. I mean, I guess if nobody's here, there's nobody to complain about us using magic, is there?
Presumably not.
Okay, I cast Mage Armor.
Okay.
So that's always the first step. And then I'll cast Locate Creature, because I happen to have that prepared. And the creature that I want to locate is the nearest dwarf.
Okay. What is the range on that?
1,000 feet.
1,000 feet? Okay. Yes, there is a dwarf within 1,000 feet of you.
Where is the dwarf?
Under you.
Okay. That's, yeah. So they're underground. I don't know why they're underground, but they're underground. So
That's
I
what
don't
I
know
was
how they were
beginning to
able to pull that off.
suspect. Well, if the bell is an alarm, and all of them have agreed that when the bell goes off, all of the cellars open, and each of them goes into their own, I can understand that being a very agreed upon tactic.
But they lost their vegetables. Why didn't they bring their vegetables?
I don't know. That is the curious part. One would think that you would take anything that you have in hand with you, unless there's something more important to grab.
Could be. Could be.
Bright, roll another investigation, but you can do this at advantage because both you and Selene are noodling over the vegetables.
Well, 13.
All right, hey, it's not a red number. Much like the umbrella to its original owner, that's escaping you in the moment. Not that I'm going to stop you as the player thinking about it, but there's nothing obvious I as the DM am going to reveal to you in the moment.
Okay. Well, why don't we, why don't we look for a trapdoor? There's probably one in this building, and the window's open, so we could get in pretty easy if we can find a trapdoor or something.
That would be a good place to start.
Yeah. Boy, I don't understand how we didn't hear them. It just seems so hard. Okay.
A silence spell, maybe.
Yeah, it could be. I use a lot of magic for people who aren't supposed to use any magic.
Well, if you're trying to get away from someone who may or may not be able to spot you from the air, makes sense to use everything at your disposal to get away from them.
Yeah. Alright, well, let's look for that trapdoor.
Okay, so you want to go inside the house?
Yeah.
All right. Do you want to go in through, like, the glass part of the window is closed? Not that you can't, try and open that too. Do you want to go in through the window, the door, something else?
Well, let's try the door.
Okay. The door is locked.
Not anymore.
Fair enough. All right. So, while there was a booming thunder in the hills during the combat, there's a booming thunder in the village from a knock, and click. It unlocks.
Okay, let's go in.
Who's going in first?
After you.
I'll take the dodge action and then go in.
Okay. Sure. You walk in, and I need you to make a dexterity save at advantage.
See, this is why. 24.
All right. Bright, you knock on the door, and very politely, it answers your magic and unlocks. You open it. Selene gives you a courteous after you. You turn and walk in through the door, and you trip over a wire that might be called a tripwire. However, you are deft enough, or you are light enough, that you may not have fully set off whatever was to happen. So you still end up falling forward. The dex save in this case was more of the excuse of, well, maybe you're light, or like you just barely paid attention enough to kind of over it. And but yes, Selene sees Bright just trip, fall, and there's a little as the rain comes down, there's a little bit of like a sheen as the water's clinging to the wire, further revealing that there's something very low to the ground right in the doorway.
Oh.
Tripwire. I think there's been like 3 traps in this whole game, and I've hit them all.
Oh, that's amusing.
Okay, well, is there anybody here, or is it just the trap?
There does not appear to be anyone here. As you stand up and you dust your... there's not really any dust, but I don't know. You try and... You brush away maybe any embarrassment or whatever at having done that. There's no obvious signs of people.
Okay, I'll look to see what kind of trap this is. So if
And Selene's actually going to be investigating the walls to see if she can find a fake door.
If it's a possibly like a deadly trap or an almost deadly trap, then that's probably not a prank. That's probably them being serious about this.
Rolling
if
in...
it is...
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, maybe it's just like party balloons. Then maybe it's more likely to be a trap.
Sure, roll an investigation.
18.
So yes, you are going through and you're trying to deconstruct this trap. You're following the wire, where it goes. It's seemingly it's something that has a similar latch system to the shutters, and so that the craftsmanship is still really well. In fact, you get the idea that the wire itself might be able to be hidden or retracted. And from your discussion about the shutter, it looks like this might have been something that was, just very deliberately set. Like, you lock your door, and there was a tripwire that was also extended out and hooked into its anchor, which was very discreetly placed. Because these people, they're apparently very good craftsmen, and things are rather flush. Things sit very well. And they may look old and weathered, but there is just a quality and a durability to them that really can't be denied. But it can be easily looked over. And as you go, as you're looking around, I want you to make a perception now. You're detecting the aspects of the trap.
23.
Ooh, 23. If this had gone off, you probably would have been crushed under a stone that would have descended down from the ceiling above the door. And this is not party balloons. This isn't a little, like, a deterrent, like a little stinky spray. This is something that would leave someone seriously injured or possibly killed.
I mean, do dwarves use rocks for party balloons, though?
Uh, no, it is doubtful that they use rocks as party balloons. Now,
Yeah,
this
so
is
not a
information.
prank, then.
This is information from you have not set off the trap. Now, you can do it deliberately if you want, but I'm presuming that this is just you looking and trying to understand without triggering it.
Well, given that I was able to figure out what it does, I don't really want to set it off. But I will warn Selene not to get smushed.
Okay.
If I hadn't been able to figure it out, though, I would have set it off on purpose. With my mage hand.
Okay. Well, the mage hand, if you weren't, quote-unquote, light enough or heavy enough to trip it, your mage hand probably couldn't. But there might be something else that could. Or, I mean, you could just tamper with it and actually just, I don't know, and just set it off. Purposely, but through some other means. Selene.
I don't need to disarm it. It's fine.
Selene is specifically looking for false doors. She's curious if someone's hunkered down in here.
As she's looking, there's a... she tells you that there's one room inside the house that is also locked, but she's not done anything other than to just try and test it. And she tells you that she thinks there are 2 possibly hidden doors, but she's not tried to open them. But there's just something, a very slight seam, or just... and even she was having trouble trying to find them. But she believes that there's... Like, she knows for sure there's one other locked room, and then there's 2 places that are possibly hidden doors. Or at least just secret flush doors to the wall.
Well, given how good they are at crafting, it makes sense that they'd make really well-made secret doors. Selene, are you coming in or are you staying out there?
Oh, I'm coming.
Well,
Okay,
she's inside. Like, she stepped over the wire and is looking around inside the
I
house.
thought she was looking inside. Okay, I'm confused.
Yeah.
Okay.
Looking inside at the interior walls.
Well, let's see if we can open the secret doors, and if we can't, then we can always open the locked one. But my locate dwarf spell still says they're below us, right?
Yes.
Okay.
How long does that last?
An hour.
Okay, yep, you're still good. Alright, you want to approach one of the secret doors?
Yeah, but now we're extra double plus on guard for traps.
Okay.
Yes.
Selene could point out where she believes there's a flush button set in the stonework. That's probably the release or the latch for it. So she found it, but she hasn't pressed it yet. She wanted to wait for you to be here.
Oh, I appreciate that. Let's stand back and I'll push it with my mage hand.
Okay. Your mage hand is pushing against it, and either your mage hand can't produce enough force to push the button, or Selene didn't find the button.
Okay, well, I'll try with my regular finger then.
Okay. Athletics, please.
Athletics. 10.
You're trying really hard, Bright.
My only weakness is my weakness.
Yes. So either this is a prank and it's a false button, or maybe in your caution, like you're trying to push, but you're also kind of holding back in case something happens. But you're not able to open this door, this presumed door.
Does it have? I mean, it's a dwarvish door. Does it say like "speak friend and enter"?
No, there's nothing. There's nothing that's written in any language that's on it. There is a painting though, so that's hanging on that part of the wall. And that being said, it's a stone wall, so hanging up a painting's not exactly like tapping a little penny nail into a piece of wood.
Well, they just have to use a concrete anchor. Oops, that's my real world expertise.
Yeah.
Bright doesn't know anything about that. Okay. Do I see anything special about the painting? Is it another one of those animated paintings?
If it is animated, there's nothing in this room that is casting the shadows or putting a twinkle to it. It's a picture of a mountain. In fact, that's probably, it looks a lot like other pieces of art you've seen. That might even just be the picture of El Arzua itself.
Okay. Can I look behind it?
Sure. Make me an athletics.
13. That's actually pretty good for me.
Now, at this point, Bright, you're like, all right, I can accept maybe not having the strength to push in a stone button for a secret stone door. Nothing about this wooden frame and a picture of a mountain, unless it's magical, is going to explain why you can't move this frame. Unless the frame itself is built into the wall or is as a part of it.
Huh. Well,
But it does look like it's actually hung up on a nail on a stone wall.
Huh. Well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, if it's hanging from a nail, then I should be able to move it. If it was like anchored to the wall, then yeah, that makes sense that I couldn't do it. If it's just hanging from
it looks like it's hanging, from a nail. Now, you're either gonna have to levitate or have Selene do it, or have Selene hold you if you want to investigate. Because you're actually on your tippy toes, trying to flip the bottom of the frame. But if you want to go up, you're gonna have to or get a chair and stand on it yourself. But you're not tall enough to reach the top of the painting or the little bit above where the wire and the nail is.
Yeah, that's okay. Selene, did you say there was 2 secret doors in here?
Mm-hmm.
Where's the other one?
And she'll point to the other ones right over there.
Let's see if I can operate that one.
One second here. All right. I'm sorry. What was Selene doing?
I pointed over to the
the
other door.
And I want to see if I can operate it.
Okay. Sure. There's a similar stone button, perhaps, that's standing out. Makes sense to you. That seems to be where that's something that you could press.
Selene, maybe we have to press them both at once.
Oh, maybe. And Selene would be ready to press it together with
Okay.
Selene, with Pride on the other one.
Okay, let's try that.
Okay. Who's on the part of the wall with the painting?
I guess Selene, because I'm over here.
Okay. All right. I need I have Selene's sheet, but I do need another athletics from you, Bright.
4. I don't like that one. I'm going to roll it again.
Oh no.
0.
They're so well crafted.
Yes.
We're not getting into these rooms.
I am baffling my 19th level party. and yeah, like apparently Selene has spaghetti fingers as well, and is crumpling before the might of a stone button. So yeah, pushing that, either you two are taken for fools, and I mean, if it's a trap, it's not one that's like, oh, a needle popped out and poisoned me, or oh, rocks are falling and we're dying. So they could be false buttons, or just honestly, this is made in such a way that it's not a simple button press, or you have to have prodigious strength, which the dwarves do seem to be rather strong. But there's something to this.
And it's baffling us a bit.
Okay. Well, that's kind of funny. Let's check out the other locked door.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. It is a locked door. It is very plainly locked. It's an internal door. It's not made of stone. It is made of wood, but it does seem to be very well built. But yes, jiggling the handle produces nothing. It seems to be locked similar to the front door.
I mean, I could knock this one too if we have to, but I was hoping we'd find something. I don't understand how the dwarves operate their houses. It seems complicated.
Very.
Do you want to cast knock?
I don't really. I mean, I can, but I don't want to. Selene, do you have any ideas on how we could operate the secret doors?
I mean, there are many ways to open a door. A lot of them very destructive.
Well, I'm not looking for I know the destructive ones. It's the non-destructive ones I'm having trouble with.
Dear Bright, you do understand that is my specialty, yes?
Frustratingly, that's Bright's too. It's
Yeah.
I hate to disappoint, but I am not the most versatile of casters.
Okay.
Unless there is something that I've prepared today, I don't know.
So, yeah, I mean, Selene can, if you want her to cast knock, she can cast knock by summoning a spectral being to scythe through it, or to liquefy the biomass of the wooden door, to accelerate its aging such that it falls into dust. What do you take your pick?
These are things that I have at my disposal today. But I'm sure the occupants would be rather perturbed at the sight.
Yeah. Okay, fine. We'll do it the easy way. So we'll go to... Is there any... Besides the picture, is there any other distinguishing features of the two walls with the secret doors?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay. And there's not, like, living implements or anything around here?
Mm-mm.
Well, that's just annoying.
All seems to be practical, mundane.
Stupid practical dwarves. Be more whimsical. Alright, I'll cast Passwall. On the secret door. The one with the painting.
Okay. Sure. So you, thank you, Raiders. Hello, Strange Trees Live. Thank you for raiding in again. what is the dimensions that you want to set for your pass wall?
Well, equal to the size of the door. So,
Yeah, just the
Okay.
door size.
Okay, sure. Yeah, you can size it to the seam that
oh,
Selene
another
could.
raid.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, good.
Becca, hello, and Alpha, welcome. Vorpal Tales coming in. Give me 1 second. Well, I give 2 shout-outs. One to Strange. If I can spell. Strange Trees Live. Strange Trees. If only you knew in this campaign that strange trees do live. And I'm glad that you were enjoying a D&D game. Please share what was happening at your tabletop. And Fables Strange, hello. I love the mushroom. And let's give a shout out as well to Vorpal Tales,
Woo.
who is playing tabletop RPGs. And Vorpal, and Sorta Sullied, hello. Howdy to you. Welcome to the Hero Zone and to our Friday night RP session.
With the Chroma Company.
Yes. And if any of you have questions as to what's going on, because I know it's like, oh, 142, I'm going to be lost. Don't worry. Right now, it's simple bread and butter stuff. We have adventurers in a house looking for traps and secret doors. But yes, hello, and welcome to our game. And I hope you're having fun in your own. Okay, so you're setting your pass wall to the dimensions of the seams that Selene had pointed out. Now, how deep do you want it to go?
As deep as it can.
20 feet in? All right.
Yeah, I mean, it should probably go all the way out the other side of the house at this point, but I guess I'll angle it down slightly as well.
Okay.
To go through the floor.
Yeah, we'll just kind of... you never know with doors. It's always kind of odd. Yeah, maybe not. We'll just have it go straight.
Sure. You have it go straight ahead, and you are looking through the back of the house. It opened up to the outside.
So this door just goes outside?
No. Seemingly, it just is a wall that would go against the outside of the house.
Huh.
Meaning it was made to look like a secret door, but it is not.
Huh. Okay.
Yes,
Well, that's
Bright,
interesting.
I feel like we're being pranked here.
I mean, maybe. If so, I hope it's fun.
Just watch, somebody's gonna jump out from out of nowhere and we're gonna get ambushed and maybe surprised. Maybe it's a surprise birthday party.
It's a prank with a death trap at the front door. So
We still have a bell to go check out.
Yeah, I was thinking that the bell might be magical and it might be producing an illusion or teleportation or something, but that doesn't seem as likely, so. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave this hole in the house, just because I can. Stay there for an hour.
Sure. Okay.
Let's knock the other locked door. Why not?
Okay. As you cast knock on this interior door, it unlocks, and there is a large discharge of electricity that is arcing out of the metallic, the door knob and the little plate around it. There's just a violent eruption of electricity, and it diminishes. But the door is seemingly unlocked.
This is a very dangerous house.
Quite. The occupants really don't want invaders.
Yeah.
Right, make an investigation.
I'm feeling somewhat unwelcome.
Only
At
somewhat.
advantage now. Well, good, because that would have been a
Advantage
6.
because
All
of
right.
critical fail.
So, with the unprompted prompts that Selene gave, that your own mind reinforced, you're putting it together. Wait. Invaders. If they're hiding, why would they hunker down? Why would they just disappear, leaving stuff behind?
Without telling us.
And then other things are falling into place. The tense relationship between the dwarves and the Shadowheart. The things that you learn that these dwarves, these dwarves of the hill dwarves we'll call them, are the ones who are on the fringes to be the interaction with the Empire, to scout their movements, to be the first ones that if there was military action or a march, that they would come through this place. The dwarves have probably gone to ground because they are prepared for invasion. They're prepared for war. If they
But there are
get
no
upset
invaders.
at the presence of magic, and not only that, the governor's ship itself was hovering above the town. And after that tense interaction with the king, what you might have heard was a warning bell, one to hide, and possibly that there's fear of a war because of what happened. Such that everyone put their stuff down and everyone got to safety, regardless of what they were doing. They were prepared, they stopped what they were doing, and on top of that, they left traps behind built into their houses for the invading soldiers, who probably would walk into the houses and want to steal their stuff that was out. And what Shadowheart soldier would know to look for a tripwire in front of a quaint countryside house? And while you haven't figured out what happened with that doorknob, who'd suspect that a door leading to a bedroom would give off such a deadly electrical discharge? These traps were meant to kill. Most likely, they're meant to kill Shadowheart soldiers walking into the houses to find the dwarves and or just loot their stuff. Now that crushing realization is on you, roleplay. Back to you.
I mean, it seems kind of paranoid. I mean, where are the invaders? I don't hear any army. I don't see any army. There's no bombardment. There's no meteors falling from the sky. There's no fleet of airships on the horizon.
But magic was cast at that the side of the murder.
Yeah, but that was just Norallie. She's not an army. She's just Norallie.
Do they know that, right?
Well, we tried to explain it, but they ran around like chickens with their heads cut off. I think these dwarves are a little trigger happy.
Can you blame them? Can you blame them for wanting to maintain their own when the Shadowheart are invading nearly every land in Mesotopia?
I mean, kinda, because they have a relationship. They have. I mean, the king.
A
has talked to-
subservient relationship.
I know, but still, the king was talking to the Shadowheart envoy. It's not like. I don't know. There's not a war happening. They shouldn't be acting like there's a war. It's how you start a war without meaning to.
But think about it, Bright. The Emperor's dead. the governor has now decided he wanted to tighten the leash on the provinces around the Shadowhar Empire. Then magic goes off at the manor, and how are they supposed to react? Yes,
Well,
we
they
know
did
it's
react by
Norallie
figuring
because
out what
we've seen
happened.
it that way. Of
I mean,
course.
they knew it was Norallie. The king's representative. Oh, what's his name? You know, the guy. Um,
Tasman?
Yeah, that guy. Tasman saw it happen. He saw Norallie cast the spell. I mean, granted, not the best
Tasman left
circumstance.
without informing anyone.
Well, that's on him. He should have told everyone what was going on before he ran off.
He took the ship. Mordecai and I were still eating breakfast. We hadn't actually been informed that the ship was leaving.
Yeah, sorry about that, but it's not like you would have wanted to get
So
involved
when
in that.
Tasman takes off with the escort ship, assumed to take us with them, and there's still magic going on, and who gods know who and what else, then of course they're going to go to ground.
Even gnomes aren't this skittish. I mean,
Gnomes didn't really have much to worry about. So far away from the Shadowhar.
Now,
These
Coffee,
people are right on their border.
this can be retracted if you all think that she wouldn't say this, though I think Selene actually might. Selene can give a comment to Bright that because the gnomes weren't on guard or skittish is the reason why what's happening to them is happening to them.
I don't think she'd be that offensive. Not to Bright.
I mean, not inflicting it at Bright, but making the broad, like, then explain why your people are, you know. I mean, that's probably she put it with a cold clinical delivery of if the gnomes were half as prepared as the dwarves seemingly are. Well, anyway, my intention is conveyed. Now, whether or not Selene says that, again, I wish Lethality could be here to confirm or deny, but
I feel like she would say it.
To Bright, yeah.
I feel like she'd say that, though.
Just considering, like, half the thing she said to Norallie about Loki, I think she would say that just outright.
I mean, Selene is a little nicer to Bright than she is to Norallie, but yeah, I think she'd probably say that.
Yeah, okay, so Bright gets the clinical detachment, not just a clinical explanation, so...
Yeah. I mean, that's a pretty mean thing to say. That's pretty serious victim blaming there, Selene. Especially since it was a thing that nobody's ever seen before and nobody could have predicted, and which, as we know from our encounter with it, I have no ability to control anyway. Like, it's completely immune to everything I do, and it could put the whammy on me. I don't think there's any kind of preparation that would have made that better.
Sometimes I don't know how to word things. I can see why. Perhaps the dwarves would have been caught nearly as off guard as maybe the gnomes survived. I don't know. I don't mean to be crass. I don't mean to sound insensitive. It's just a curiosity.
I think the gnome genocide is more than just a curiosity.
Well, There's no way that I can apologize.
Yeah. This is one of those holes you should stop digging.
I am diggy hole.
Well, if you're to do it anywhere in the dwarven lands of El Artois. So as Selene, who technically doesn't need to eat, is actually fed a piece of humble pie by Bright. We have now you're in town over here. We have Loki, Mordecai, Tig, who I do not have a token for, and Norallie, and a corpse draped over Mordecai's shoulder. That have headed back down. It's a lot easier to go back down. A couple slips along the way, but nothing too bad. But you have made your way back. It's a very direct route. And the manor is empty. There's no one around on the grounds. There's no one there to meet or greet you. In fact, walking through town, at least the part of town that you were going through, still no one. No one on the streets, no one looking through windows.
Huh. That's odd.
Not used to, like, towns not having people.
Maybe that bell was some kind of signal for everyone to get off the street?
Should we be off the street?
Well, we weren't around when everybody else did, so I'm curious. If we go to the bell, then we might find somebody who's maybe give instructions to stragglers.
Maybe. Well, yeah. That's a plan. Let's do that.
Well,
did you and Selene and Bright make a plan of where to meet up?
At the manor, I believe. Here at the manor. Yeah, at midday.
it's a lot closer to if it isn't already midday.
Well, maybe we should just wait for them.
They should be heading back fairly soon anyway.
Yeah.
Does Bright or Selene have keen mind? I don't think so.
No.
No, but Selene is skilled, so I think she has proficiency in a lot of different things.
I was just going for like the biological clock that you can keep.
Oh, no.
Because otherwise, like, they're in a trap-filled house, theory crafting what might be going on, and it's a little distracting too, when it could be noon outside.
Eventually, they'd get to the point where they were.
Oh yeah.
Thinking it was about coming back. Yeah.
So this is going to leave Loki, Norallie, and Mordecai effectively alone in the manor. I mean, if you're waiting for them to come back, not that I believe any of the three of you have a direct sense of the time, but it would at least be close, if not soon, or like soon after. Do you just want to sit and wait, or what would you like to do?
I feel like they would walk into the manor, the food is still on the table, Norallie would just go back to her seat and finish her meal.
Okay, yeah, Norallie can do that. Mordecai, what are you doing with the goblin corpse?
Hanging on to it for the moment.
You put on the coat rack when you walk in, or what? Like, what? It's a...
No, it's probably more along the lines of he'll find some kind of old sheet somewhere in one of the rooms to wrap them up in.
Okay.
Just so that, the ruined corpse of the goblin's not making a mess everywhere.
Sure. Tell you what then. Norallie and Loki go to sit down to eat. Things have cooled off, but yeah, whatever. It still is. Mordecai, you actually
I
find
thought they had just left this here.
you find a laundry cart as you're looking for something, and the laundry cart is barricading a hallway on the first floor. And there's actually a lot of other furniture just sort of in the way of this hallway. But you can at least there is a sheet that's usable. You can wrap up this vampire goblin corpse, and make a perception as you do.
All right. Yeah, I'm not the greatest at perception.
Okay. Okay. You wrap up the goblin. Where do you want to keep it?
Once he's wrapped up, I'm kind of put him kind of in the, like, out of the way on the floor. Just so that he's not, like, getting tripped over or whatever, but still, you know, somewhere where we can easily point him out for someone who's,
Sure.
you know, looking for a dwarf-like goblin with claws and fangs.
Speaking of dwarf-like goblins, what do you want to do with Tig? What are you telling her to do?
Tig really,
I'm probably
Tig
giving
really
Tig
should go
someone else's
home.
meal.
She'll eat. Oh, yeah, she'll just gobble up whatever.
It's like, here, Mordecai didn't finish his food. You eat it.
At some point, she really should go home to Brisbane.
Yeah, but, like, we can't just send her off by herself. There's attack goblins out there.
She says, she's laughing through her full mouth. This is why Shadowheart say that we're called goblins. Just because we're always eating.
Yeah, there's wild goblins out there that could attack her. We can't let her go by herself. And, like, there's no one here, so we can't just leave her here, and I wouldn't want to leave her here anyways, because we have to make sure her name's cleared in the first place. So we gotta go talk to someone and tell them that, you know, Tig isn't the one who killed. So there's an order to things, Mordecai. You know.
You tell him, party leader.
You can't just you can't just send the goblin off on its way.
Well, party leader, you need to. Well, she can go with the next convoy that's leaving out of town for that, going to Brisbane. But you're right. She really should clear her name first of anything that has to do with the murder, and that's why we brought our vampire goblin friend.
Yep. And who are we going to show that to? Because I thought the one guy left on the ship.
Well, once people start coming out again, that's why I was suggesting we go to the Bell, because maybe someone's there who could direct the stragglers from everything they've all, I don't know, gone into hiding or something. Who knows? I don't know.
Why would they be hiding?
Once Selene and Bright get back, then we can all go.
Meanwhile, across town, Selene and Bright, as you're having this conversation / conspiracy theory fest in the middle of this trapped living room, Peggy Sue comes whirring in, and Bright, Peggy's telling you that when she was back at the manor looking around, she saw Norallie and Mordecai and Loki, and they had 2 goblins. One was walking and one was over Mordecai's shoulder.
Oh, I guess. Well, that's good to know that they're back and they found Norallie. That's actually really great news. I look around real quick. Is there a like any kind of stationery or anything?
Yeah. You can find some things to write on and with. Everything was just left behind, so.
I'll just write a quick little note and say, Selene and I are here. It seems like the dwarves are planning on fighting a war, so that's not great. Please meet up with us and watch out for the tripwire. Okay, thanks, bye. And I'll say to Peggy Sue, go ahead and carry this note back to them, if you would, please.
And she takes off.
Okay. Remind me to get her some extra birdseed.
Meanwhile,
She's getting a lot of exercise today.
back in the dining room, as you all are having this conversation, and Tig, you don't know where she's putting this food, but wow, she is absolutely, she is filling her gob with.
He just has a pot belly.
Yeah, just a like just big and happy. You all, as you're talking, Mordecai, there's a wet splat on your head that kind of like droops over your horns, and then there's a bird that you recognize as Peggy Sue lands on the table. Tig immediately looks up and lunges forward, trying to grab the bird. Food!
No.
I grabbed Tig. No.
Make a dex save, Norallie.
I'm getting that though.
All right. She lunges forward at the live bird, and you grab onto her legs, and just her 4 little grubby fingers are just almost reaching this bird. Mordecai, you say no, and Tig kind of looks back and is crying.
You don't know where it's been.
What are you doing, Mordecai?
I know exactly where she's been.
Well, Tig doesn't.
Mordecai?
What am I doing?
Yeah.
I'm making sure that Peggy Sue kind of isn't getting caught by Tig. So if
Norallie caught Tig. Peggy Sue is safe from the goblin.
Oh, okay. I don't. You said goop fell on my head?
Well, it feels like it. I mean, if you want to go and find out what it is. It's definitely more, like, Peggy Sue could not poop that much, so it's not bird poop. But as you feel, it's it's saggy and wet and tubular.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's a curled up piece of paper. It is completely soaked through.
Yeah, sending a paper message in the rain. I'm gonna open it. I'm gonna try and open it up delicately.
It looks like there was writing on there at some point in time, but right now it's just like a inky, blotchy experiment in watercolor.
I guess the ink wasn't even dry yet, huh? Well, that's Peggy Sue, so I assume that's Bright's doing. Except we don't know where to meet them.
I could ask Peggy Sue. She would know.
You can do that?
Yeah, speak with animals to talk to Peggy Sue and ask her where we're supposed to meet with Bright.
Okay.
I don't know if that would work on her.
She's technically an animal.
She's an animal.
Is she?
Yeah.
I think she's technically actually Fae.
Yeah.
Technically a fae, yeah.
Rules as written, I don't think it would work, but rules as awesome, I think it should work.
I happened to use this once. And it's my birthday.
Well, oh, by the way, you until the end of the game, you are floating a 20, a natural 20 on something. So just be aware.
Birthday card somewhere.
Yeah, that's your character sheet. I will, if you're willing to give me a percentile roll to go with it.
Of course.
When doesn't Norallie choose chaos?
Sometimes. 27.
27. I don't think that's the super bad number, but let's find out what that one is.
Are any of them super bad anymore? Let's be real.
I mean, Fireball isn't great.
It's not great, but it caps out at 36 damage. Or 42, something like that. I don't remember.
For the next minute, all your spells with a casting time of 1 action have a casting time of 1 bonus action.
Ooh.
Alright. Norallie, you are on a caffeine rush. Like, everything is like, fast, gotta move fast, talk fast, move fast. Gesture fast.
She's quick and spell on crack.
Yeah, this is... You're jittery, like, things aren't happening fast enough for you here for the next minute.
Is it for the next minute?
Yeah.
Darn.
But you, with your this primal surge in magic, you are able to speak to Bright's familiar.
Hey, Peggy Sue, the ladder's messed up, so can you please tell us where you have to go, or you can just go out and we can just follow you? That works too. She says she's gonna lead us there, so let's go. Bring the goblin. I'll bring Tig.
Alright. And Mordecai's gonna do exactly that.
Alright, Loki looks at you, Norallie. Are you alright?
Yes, I'm fine. Completely. Why wouldn't I be?
Okay.
Mordecai,
he leans over to you like, she didn't take anything, did she?
You do remember that your sister is an agent of chaos, right?
You have
I
more
think Loki
experience
would
with that
just
than I
wonder
do.
how much sugar I had in my breakfast. It's like, how much?
Get into the cookies.
How much syrup did she put on that pancake?
So
Who knows?
you take off. Peggy Sue's leading the way. And despite how much she ate, Norallie, Tig is fairly capable of keeping up with you. Like, you have to stop and wait for her on occasion, but she's trying her little goblin best to run. Like, her little pot belly just sort of has its own jiggle physics, and
I'm probably like actually running and not flying as I typically would. Because I'm full of energy. I'm like, yeah, let's go for a jog.
So you all make your way there. Norallie, I need you to make a dexterity save, please.
And 17.
All right. So, Bright, you had awesome intentions with your note. Especially that last sentence.
Where I said, "Okay, thanks, bye."
No, that's just your closer.
Oh, okay.
The one warning about the tripwire.
Oh, right.
Norallie, absolutely like mad dashing, beeline, like everything but flying. Right as your senses are starting to come back to normal, Norallie, you rush there with Peggy Sue, who can just fly, like she's just taking the direct route. On your way in, you trip, fall forward on something that you didn't see. And you trip and fall forward.
Actually, hold on. I'm going to roll 2d20 to add to my roll, as I am favored by the land.
Ah. Then you trip and fall forward, but I guess this is also where Selene and Bright would hear would hear like the Doppler effect of an incoming Norallie, just turbocharged, and like, I'm here or something, whatever she'd shout or yell. Bright, I mean, you don't necessarily have a way to suspect that the words washed off of the paper, but for Selene and Bright, who are standing off to the side and were contemplating things, maybe you went inside the door that you had disarmed, the trap and the lock, and it's just a bedroom. There are some valuable stuff in there, but the two of you hear a metallic twang, and
oh no!
Boom! As a very heavy rock slams down. As the two of you peek out, like run out, like you hear that, oh no, because Norallie unfortunately tripped the trap. You see that she is, like, she's toppled over, like, she's almost in a C shape because she fell forward and kind of crumpled. So, like, her head is on the floor, her back is bent around with her legs up, and you see that Peggy Sue has her tail in her beak in a forward, like, momentum, like Peggy Sue just desperately shot forward. And then as Peggy Sue continues, Norallie's butt falls out of the sky and just plops down on the floor. But you can see that there's just a tuft of hair from her tail that was torn out by the falling stone. But it seems like Peggy Sue managed to, like, swing in at the last second and get that tail out for, like, Norallie would have survived, but her tail would have been irreparably harmed. But Peggy Sue was just barely able to go in there, such that Norallie just has a little bit of a bald spot on her tail now from where some of the hairs were pinned.
Are you all right?
Why is Boulder behind me?
Oh, dwarves use them as party balloons.
In 2 languages.
For
No,
some
I'm
reason,
sorry.
I don't believe you right now, Bright.
In 3 languages. In presumably Dwarven. In a roughly written Common and a roughly written Infernal. I won't use R1, but it'll effectively say, "Get wrecked, Imperial scum," written on the slab that has now fallen down to block the door. Wrecked was not the word, though.
Get effed.
Yeah.
They wrote that letter
See?
backwards.
This is why I left the wall open.
Well, maybe Peggy Sue should have led me through the wall. There's a boulder behind me.
Yeah.
Fell from the ceiling. I do not appreciate that.
Did the note not survive at the travel?
No, I did. Peggy Sue came. The paper was unreadable. I spoke to Peggy Sue. She said she'd lead the way, and we followed.
I suppose it could have been worse.
Meanwhile, Loki and Mordecai, ahead of you, from the hyped up, caffeinated Norallie, you just hear a twang, and something crashed. Now that wasn't her thunder, but something pretty loud just crashed ahead of you. And as you run up and you round the corner down the alleyway to the house that was here, you see that there is a slab that, well, you don't know what's written on the other side, but we'll say on the side that's presenting through the open door, it looks like a crude picture of a dwarf taking a whiz on a flaming skull. That looks a lot like a certain she shall not be named.
The sentiment is mutual. Norallie?
Yes.
Are you alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
Your poor tail,
You
though.
don't-
Like,
You don't sound alright.
She's just like holding her hair. She's just holding her tail and like brushing the floof. I'm fine. I didn't just almost get hit by a giant pillar from the ceiling that Bright should have warned us about. And actually, you might have tried to warn us about, but it didn't go through.
Can you at least
You were-
fix the hair? Can you like mending your tail tuft?
Oh, it's fine. And hairs fall out all the time. You just
Okay.
hide it.
It's not like a floof. It doesn't take 7 years to grow back, right?
No. Tail hair grows pretty quick.
But that
Okay.
quantity is quite a lot, my dear.
Oh, you would know.
she's gonna pass it off as like the this era's like side buzz, where like half of it's sort of shorn, then you get the long hair on the other side, and that's what all the cool kids are wearing these days.
I mean, I should know. My husband has a very similar tail.
I just take my my tail ribbon and put it and just slide it closer to the hair. It's like, okay, we're just gonna put you at the end now.
Not quite a comb over, but it's close. All right. Well, the party is back together in a sense. You'll have to, I guess, either pass wall or destroy the stone or find a way to reset it, as presumably it can be reset. But we have Loki and Mordecai, who, if either of them peed themselves even a little bit at the almost crushing fate of Norallie, no one can tell because it's raining, conveniently enough. And then we have the others inside the house. Although Norallie, I don't know, 6 to 1, half after the other. That might have been very scary for you, but you're also drenched. But the party is effectively together inside this house. You can swap stories and tales, but it's about time that this week's session wraps up. So we will pick up in this moment of reunification, though at what cost?
We can swap stories if you want, but I don't want Norallie's tail. It's ruined.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't want her tails. I guess singular tail. Thank you very much for the follow. Now, we are. Let's find someone to raid. Thank you very much. I hope that it may not have been exactly what was going to be happening, because obviously something's happening aboard that airship that was being chased down by the governors. But you all are here. You've definitely figured something out, or some things out. And now that you're back together and can share info, well, we'll see where it goes from there. Now, speaking of different, I guess, interpretations of monsters and beasties and plants and all sorts of stuff, we are going to go raid Nickabrack, who is doing her weekly Biology of Beasts show, where she uses her knowledge and experience as a biologist to delve in. Whoops, wrong command. To delve into fantasy creatures like D&D creatures in the Monster Manual, etc., and we'll discuss how it could translate in various real-life ways through animals that are very closely related, or if you were to have an animal like this, how could they operate with how we understand real-life biology. So it's a lot of fun. She has a great personality, very energetic. So come with me down to Australia, if you already haven't gotten enough of that being here in the Dwarven lands. And you'll see me on Discord as well if you need anything. And then Dark Wolf, I'll be swinging by in a bit to get you because we got some stuff to get in for the weekend on the shelf and in the system. So be well, everyone, and I'll see you down in Australia. As it looks like the topic is poisons that are being discussed.
Poisons.
Poisons.
Positive.
Well,
So bye.
Positive.
Poisonous or venomous?
Australia.
Yeah, right.